we innovate every day. I know that innovation is, as of relatively recent, kind of a trendy word. But if innovation is making changes to establish procedures, processes, products, ideas, whatever, we have done that every day. Who drives the innovation? A lot of times it's the customer. The customer working with our customer service, hey, I'm looking to do this, what do you think? And that will drive innovation. And a lot of time, innovation is driven by the people that work in this space. We have a very open door policy about asking questions. What do you think about this? When I walk the floor, it is not unusual for people to say, hey, have you ever thought about this? Have you ever thought about this? So we get at innovation in a lot of different ways.
In the San Knit days, it was a little bit more stock oriented, where the items, even though we did a lot of for a lot of different schools and we did all the pro teams, we did baseball, NBA, football, the uniforms were kind of similar. So once you learned it, then it was a matter of teaching the employees how to put all pieces together from step to step, operation to operation. As it became Ripon Athletic, it's become very detailed and very customized, and that has become a whole new ball game.
It's one thing to innovate and create a product, but if that product doesn't land on the playing surfaces and playing fields and is effective, then we've not done our job. And we are not willing to experiment with a customer. Well, that experimentation needs to be done before we go to the customer and say, hey, we've got this new product for you, what do you think? The Edge football jersey, which is being used at the professional level, the college level, and the high school, it's one of our best pieces. We worked on that for 2 years before it was ready to roll. And so when we finally came out with it, it's like, okay, we can go to these customers and say, this is worth it, and here's what the benefits are.
When we first created our Edge football jersey, it was a pro fit jersey, more of a compression fit. You know, the Packers are wearing that on Sundays. You know, that's our Edge jersey. It took us above the competition a little bit because we're still using a fabric that San Knit used in our best-selling football jersey today. We didn't need to recreate a fabric to create a new jersey. We just took a new jersey and used a fabric that we knew was great. Then when you look at the other sports, when you talk about sublimation, the base styles of the jersey stay pretty standard. It's just what you can do, what you can design. You can look at a plaid pair of pants and be like, oh, what would that look like on a jersey? Well, let's try it. When it comes to sublimation, we're unlimited on what we can do.
So one of the things that I really am amazed at when I kind of go back and look at the history and go through the archives is, in addition to the impact that San Knit had on sports, they've also had a tremendous impact on pop culture. You know, you look at the Houston Astros jersey, I know there's a lot of focus on that. I can remember as a kid, like having like clothing that I would wear to school that mimicked that sunset stripe. You know, no one had really done that before until that uniform came out. Go back and take a look at that story of the 77 Marquette uniforms and the influence that had. Again, I guarantee like the Fab Five doesn't happen if San Knit hadn't done what they did with Al McGuire and Bo Ellis and the 77 Warriors. The development of the Dallas Cowboy pant so that it didn't burn out on AstroTurf and the material was shiny, and how that changed how football uniforms looked going forward. Well, it changed fashion too. And I guarantee there wouldn't have been a starter satin baseball jacket if San Knit hadn't done that first Dallas Cowboy shiny pant.
The shine in this fabric, in this case, innovation or a new product, came about as almost as a byproduct or by coincidence. But we saw that, hey, that shine, it looks pretty nice. Maybe people will like this. Let's go with it. And the Cowboys liked it. During that year, they played every game they played, whoever they played, the equipment managers would talk with one another, and the word spread.
You know, in terms of innovation, that's going to continue, I think, to have value absolutely for coaches and for teams. As the sport and the players continue to evolve, Sand Knit is committed to that continuing of coming out with new innovations that satisfy those demands.